Okay, here's question 2 from the week 11 test. And what we're doing is we're distributing this fraction. We're going to do it two ways. So we have our first way, I'll leave it right there, and I'm going to rewrite the problem over here and show you a second way also. And the great thing about math, doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you do it correctly, you'll get the same answer. So here's our first way. Our first way is we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of that fraction. Anytime you multiply something times a reciprocal, it becomes one whole. So when that becomes one whole times 12x plus 40 is 12x plus 40, and that equals 34 over 1 times 4 over 1, so that's 34 times 4, 16, carry a 1, 12, 13. So that equals 136. Next, I'm going to get rid of the constant term by adding a negative. And every time I do these now, I'm going to get in this habit of highlighting. Because when I highlight, it does a couple things for me. I've highlighted a 40 and a negative 40. They're opposites. I know they cancel out. So that leaves me 12x. The other thing it does is it helps me see that these aren't going to be combined. They're going to be one minus the other. Because what we have now, since one's positive and one's negative, we have things canceling out. In this case, we have 40 zero pairs. So when you do 136, minus 40, you get 96. The final step is to divide everything by 12. 12 is the coefficient, and when you divide by the coefficient, 96 divided by 12, let's take that over here, 96 divided by 12. We're hoping to get an integer first, so what would you divide 6 by to get this, or a 2 times what would give you the 6? Well, a 2 times 8 would give you 16, so let's see what happens. 8 times 2 is 16, carry 1, 8 times 1 is 8, and 1 makes 9. That's exactly what we wanted. We get x equals 8, and that is our final answer. Now let's look at the second way we could do this problem. The second way we could do this is we could distribute the 1/4. So we could say, what's 1/4 of 12x? Well, 1/4 of 12 is 3, so that's 3x. And what's 1/4 of 40? 1/4 of 40 is 10, so we get 3x plus 10 equals 34. We add a negative 10 to both sides. Again, I want to keep that idea of highlighting things. I'm going to highlight every time I've got a negative. What that's going to do is it's going to cancel out on that side, leaving me 3x. Over here, I'm going to have 10 zero pairs. I have a positive 34 and a negative 10, so whatever I have the smallest number, that's going to make the zero pairs, because these 10 negatives will cancel out 10 of those positives, leaving 24. And when we divide by the coefficient, we get a big 1 on this side, meaning that we have x left over. Here we have 24 divided by 3 is 8. And once again, x is 8. Remember, it doesn't matter which way you do it. If you do it correctly, whether you're going to multiply by the reciprocal first, that's the first method I showed you, or you're going to distribute, you're still going to get the same answer. Okay, so check that against your work and bring any questions you have to class.